Hi everyone, welcome to Cognautics, your one-stop shop for computer science and IT. Well, the good news is you've almost made it. 10 down, 1 to go. This is the 11th task, Distinction 2 task. The good news is, in the grand scheme of things, this is a relatively straightforward task. This, from the specification, you should analyse client or user feedback. Doesn't matter where you got the feedback from, that's your questionnaire. Identify any improvements you need to make, and then make those improvements. And they call it providing evidence of implementing improvements to design, to your prototype that is, based on the feedback that you got. And the evidence will be actually doing it. So in simple terms, you need to improve your prototype based on the feedback that you got through your questionnaires. That's really it. We've got two elements here. First of all, the analysis, and that's where you're going to show that you can analyse the feedback that you've got, and perhaps not just list the improvements, but think about how you can explain why they'll benefit your design, and then to actually make the improvements and do the before and after, which is the same thing we did in M3, if you remember back to that far. Okay, so task broken down. Go through your questionnaire and identify some feedback which will give you an idea of some improvements you can make to your design. And document that. Write down what the feedback that you've got and the improvements that your respondees have asked you to make. Then provide some analysis on that feedback. Make at least 2 changes to your prototype, and you will need to show before and after. And I'll say this once again before the end of this video. Do the screenshot to the before making changes, because so many times students have gone and made the changes and then thought, oh no, I didn't screenshot the way it was before I made the changes, which will drive you mad. Otherwise you've got to go back and start to unpick the changes you've made, which is such a massive waste of time. And documentation, documenting what you've done. So what is the analysis going to look like? So first of all, summarise the improvements you've been asked to make. And again, 2, 3, 4 different improvements. And for each improvement, just provide a brief commentary. It only needs to be brief. Why do you feel these improvements are going to improve your app, your design, your prototype? What's the benefit for the client? What's the benefit for the end user? It might not be both, and you don't need to go into a granular level of detail on this, but demonstrating, this is a distinction task, don't forget. So there's a degree of being able to demonstrate that you know why you're doing it, this analysis. That's why it's a D task and not an M or a P task. So on the screen you can see on the right hand side here, this is a design that a student sent me, and you can see this student's gone for the before and after. You've got 2 screens. Obviously the one on the left is before. I'd rather this student had put before and after, but it's fairly obvious because you've got that arrow here which sort of shows the direction of flow. All right, so the long and short of this is that this was the initial design the student had here, and you can see that the thing that's changed is this here, which is the About Us section, and this is the upgraded design after changes made. What's happened? The text is bigger. How has this been done? Well, it's been done by exploiting this wasted white space down here, which serves no purpose other than just sitting there. And in fact, by making the text bigger, the white space, it actually looks neater as well, doesn't it? So it's a better looking screen afterwards. So that's the sort of it's an example of one of the areas that you might want to improve your app. But of course, this will be based on the feedback that you got. So that's the before and after. So that's actually making the changes. On the left-hand side here, I've got sort of 2 parts here. Now this is my writing on this, not the students. And I said, first of all, 3 responses in the questionnaire highlighted that the About Us section, this bit here, the About Us section was difficult to read as the text was too small, which on the left-hand side it is. I decided to make use of the white space at the bottom of the screen, which is down here, and increase the size of the text. And this text is larger on the right hand side on the after here. So that's a description of what I've done, but I've not really provided a great deal of analysis at this stage. So I've gone on and notice there's not a huge amount of text that I've created here, because there's not a huge amount you can really say about making the text bigger, but this is a distinction task, so I need to demonstrate why making the text bigger is going to be beneficial. You can't just say it looks nicer. That's not much of a degree of analysis there. So this section is now more likely to be read by end users because it's easier to read and may lead to more recommendations. You'll notice the mistake I made on purpose there. It may lead to more recommendations being made to third parties, especially those in the local area. Now this student, who unfortunately is me, has also made a mistake here, because this should be an LEA there. Shocking, isn't it? So I would have tutted at that. So this may lead to more recommendations being made to third parties, especially those in the local area. Because if you look over here, it's got West Houghton, which is where this driving school is. So it might be they want to support local businesses. So listen, it may or may not be the case, but I am showing analysis by doing that. All right, so that's one of the ways that you can do this. So, final checklist: analyse feedback from the questionnaire, make a list of the improvements, and actually make those improvements. Do the before, screenshot it, label it before, make the changes, screenshot it and label it after, and then make sure you've got those that analysis there to show why this might benefit either the client or the end user, or both. I hope this has been useful. Well done, that's Unit 6, all done and dusted. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be the first to see new videos. Bye bye.